There aren't enough houses in America, and everyone feels it. But that's not the real story, and it's not the future. Over the next 20 years, more homes will change hands than any point in modern American history. Not because of a crash, not because of interest rates, but because of who owns America's housing and how old they are. Most people think that the housing shortage ends when we build more homes. And although that's one way out, it's not the likely way that this ends. The real shift is demographic, and the people who understand it, who prepare for it, will be the ones who benefit. Not because of luck, not because they timed the market, but because they understood the forces already in motion, and they were ready. To understand what's about to happen, we need to understand how we got here. And that means going back to about 80 years to the end of World War II. Millions of soldiers came home and needed somewhere to live. And for the first time in history, the United States had a population and an economic engine to build housing at a massive scale. The GI Bill made mortgages more accessible, builders responded with speed and efficiency. Whole neighborhoods appeared almost overnight. The post-war building boom created what would become the backbone of American housing. Suburbia as we know it today didn't exist before this moment. These homes were modest, affordable, and built in staggering numbers. And for decades, this construction pipeline kept pace with demand. To be sure, there were some market ups and downs, but everything changed in 2008. The housing crash wasn't just a financial disaster, it was a construction disaster. Builders were wiped out. Skilled tradespeople left the industry and never returned. Banks tightened lending and regulations increased. And the entire construction ecosystem slowed to a crawl. For the first few years, that slowdown felt temporary, but it wasn't. It kept going and going and going. And for nearly 15 years, the United States built much fewer homes than it needed. And that underbuilding is the core reason we have a shortage today. It's not mysterious and it's not complicated. It's cause and effect. When you don't build enough homes for 15 years, prices don't fall. That's been great for home sellers and brutal for everyone else. But shortages don't last forever, even when they feel like they will. They correct. And the correction that's coming won't be driven by construction or a recession per se, it will be driven by demographics. And right now, baby boomers, one generation, own nearly half of all real estate in the United States. Almost half. That level of ownership concentration is unprecedented. And for decades, it meant one thing. Boomers shape the housing market. They're buying, they're selling, their preferences, all of it influence prices, supplies, and even how neighborhoods develop. But no generation owns housing forever. Over the next 20 years, boomers will release an enormous number of homes back into the market. Some will downsize, some will move closer to families, some will move into retirement communities, and some will pass their homes on to their children. Others will have estates that sell their property outright. And this transition is not theory, it isn't speculation, it's demographic certainty. You see, the average life expectancy in the United States is about 78. And in 2024, the oldest baby boomer reached that age. That doesn't mean homes flood the market overnight, but it does mean the largest housing-owned generation in history has entered the phase where its turnover accelerates and it doesn't reverse. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, not a slogan, but as a structured reality. There has never been more real estate controlled by a single generation in American history, and there is no next generation large enough, old enough, or concentrated enough to repeat this. For the foreseeable future, this level of housing turnover will not happen again. And here's the part that most people don't factor in. Even when homes are inherited, they usually don't stay in the family. Surveys consistently show that around 70% of heirs plan to sell an inherited home, not keep it. That number rises sharply when multiple siblings are involved, because you can't split a house 4 ways. You split the money. Only about 30% of heirs even intend to keep an inherited property, and many later discover that they can't afford the taxes, maintenance, or updates. Roughly 40% say they aren't financially prepared to maintain an inherited home long term. So even when we talk about homes being passed down, the reality is simple. Most inherited homes eventually return to the market. That's why this shift matters. It's not just about homeownership changing, it's inventory returning, and at scale. There is a fundamental truth about real estate that almost no one is taught. Land appreciates, structures depreciate. The physical building, the house itself, ages every year. Roofs wear out, systems fail, layouts become dated, and styles change. But the land? Well, the land is what benefits from population growth, job centers, school districts, walkability, infrastructure, and amenities. The land is what compounds in value over time. This gap between a depreciating structure and appreciating land is where ordinary people can create real wealth. When you buy a home that needs work in a great location, you're buying the part that went backward and benefiting from the part that moved forward. This isn't flipping. This isn't value speculation. This is value restoration. A home that needs updating in a strong neighborhood gives you room to improve it, room to add value, and room to build equity in a way fully rented homes simply cannot. Most buyers say that they want homes that are move-in ready, new kitchens, new bathrooms, perfect paint, everything done, and that's the dream. But here's what I realized working with home buyers for years. A huge percentage of homes on the market aren't updated. And that's not really a problem, it's the opportunity. When you buy perfect, you pay for it. Every cabinet, every fixture is already priced in. But when a home is dated, it still has the old kitchen, old bathrooms, old layout. There's value to be added. And this matters for two groups of people in particular. First, first-time home buyers, buyers who are priced out of perfect, but not priced out of potential. And as an aside, many first-time home buyers talk a good game about wanting to buy a fixer until they see them in person. And look, there is no sugarcoating it. Flipping homes is fun on TV, but in real life is stressful, time-consuming, and can get expensive. But don't tell me the American dream is dead because you don't want the hard work. Now, it's not for everyone, but there's great opportunities there. And second are the buyers who are willing to put in the work. People who are okay with living with something imperfect for a few years in exchange for long-term upside. The irony is that the very homes most buyers scroll past, the ones that feel outdated, awkward, or unfinished, are the only ones where real opportunity still exists. Not because they're cheap, but because they're under-improved relative to the location. Location still does the heavy lifting. Schools don't reset when a kitchen goes out of style, neighborhoods don't depreciate because a bathroom is original. So when a solid home in a strong area gets old, it doesn't lose its value per se, it just creates a gap. And if you're willing to step into that gap to buy the condition instead of perfection, you're not settling, you're positioning yourself. Now, as millions of homes change hands over the next decades, institutions are watching. Private equity, corporate landlords, investment firms. And if everyday buyers don't step forward, institutions will. But here's the advantage most people miss. Institutions don't want homes that need work. They want a turnkey asset. Predictability, scale. That leaves opportunity squarely in properties that need improvement, the exact homes being released by boomers in great neighborhoods. Now, this isn't a cycle, it is a handoff, and once it's over, it won't happen again. Subscribe for more tips.